Red Shoemaker.
Hi, Rorie.
Or should I call you your D&D character name, which I forget right now?
Yeah, you can call me whatever you want.
I forgot it, so how would I call you that?
We're role-playing here, right?
We are. We're going to RPing.
I'll play whatever role you desire.
What was your D&D name? I totally forgot it.
Detroit.
Detroit Jones?
Yep, that's the one.
If I'm not mistaken. Let me do something real quick. I have to go in here and scroll speed this up because I scroll pretty fast.
All right.
This is Pillars of Eternity.
I'm sorry. Say again.
Path of Exile. Pillars of Eternity.
Pillars of Eternity. Okay.
It's not Path of Exile.
Is it like Path of Exile?
Not very similar at all in any case. So don't get this. If you tell your mom to go get POE for you, be very clear.
Make sure you specify what you want your mom to pick up at the store.
Exactly.
What store are they even selling this in, Rorie?
It's on Steam right now. This is Pillars of Eternity by Obsidian Entertainment.
I don't know that a lot of people's moms will be going to buy this game for them in the Steam store.
Who knows?
You might be right.
So just to be very clear up front here, I did used to work at Obsidian Entertainment.
Yes.
Should be in full disclosure. I left 5 years ago.
Yes.
When I left, this was not even a glint in anybody's eye. So I did not contribute to this Kickstarter. I be very clear that the reason I went to work at Obsidian was because I kind of like games like this. So I'm probably kind of.
You are the guy on staff who, when a game comes out like this, and to be fair, they don't come out very often.
Yeah.
We all say, "Hey, Rorie would like that."
Yeah. So it's a little bit of a quandary where normally, if nobody else had been interested in covering this, I probably wouldn't have. But since there probably wouldn't have been a quick click otherwise, I felt did my duty.
Yes.
I just found a secret.
Also, you just know these games better than the rest of us.
Yeah, I mean,
because this game has a lineage to it.
If anybody is watching this who has played Baldur's Gate 2 or Icewind Dale or any of those games, you will already be feeling very at home. There's a very large amount of, just UI and mechanics and everything like that that is basically, old school in that way.
Would you say this game is a love letter to the Infinity Engine?
I don't know, has that been used in their PR anywhere? Probably.
I don't know, I just made that up, but they're free to take it.
Spiritual successor kind of stuff going on. So this is a isometric top-down kind of 2D, 3D mashup of your characters are obviously all in 3D. I can prove that. I can prove that your characters are all in 3D.
Prove it. Big heads. Wow, zoom in on that. Let me see that.
It looks a little goofier when it's your characters because they all wear helmets. The villagers look a lot better because you can see their whole heads. But
we'll have to revisit this when you get to a town.
That's pretty great.
That's dumb.
Yeah, I'm gonna turn that off for a second. It's dumb, but it's built right in. There's no cheat code or anything like that.
Was that a stretch goal?
I have no idea. I'm gonna try and VSync too. See if that does anything. I don't think it really did. So.
So how is this game?
I like it a lot so far. I really haven't been having a good time, and I'm habitually pretty bad about starting these games and not finishing them, especially when they start talking about like 80 hours, 60 hours. Like I didn't beat Divinity, I didn't beat Wasteland 2, but this I feel like I'm probably gonna go the distance unless I find some kind of crazy difficulty spike at some point, but we'll see. So again, this is not a D&D game. There's no D&D rules here at all. It's all kind of new stuff. But it's pretty familiar to get. It's easy to get right into it without having to worry about reading a rule book or anything like that. I didn't have too many problems at all. We'll talk a little bit more about mechanics in a bit, but for right now, I'm kind of in the second level of this dungeon. This used to be a temple. It is below the first town that you get to, and apparently the king of this area wound up going into the dungeon, or going to the temple and killing all the priests and everything like that. So that might be why the land is not doing so well. There's been curses going on, a lot of deformed babies and stuff like that. Actually,
gross.
When I get up to the first town here, I'll show you what the king has actually been up to. Pretty familiar stuff. You have your avatar icons and everything like that. You have formations if I want to move it around. My character here is a rogue. I actually made this character, Roguish. This is my main character here. The other 4 I have found up as created NPCs in the world. This one I made at an inn. I kind of like, hey, I don't have a rogue. I'm going to go make a rogue. So she's been really handy. I'm going to sneak mode in and out. In sneaking mode, you can get up close and you can also do sneak attacks. And I just one-hit that dude. So
Who's that?
That is my chanter. This dude
He's
right here.
definitely doing his job.
Yeah, he's a chanter. It's a kind of new character class that I haven't seen very much about.
Not what I expect Chanter to look like, but okay.
He's a weird little guy. He will
Weird
build
little
up.
guy with a big booming
Yeah,
voice.
he will actually automatically sing as you get in combat, and then once he gets a number of phrases up, he can do pretty powerful stuff with it. My problem now is that is this another stairwell down? Oh, just another room over here. So sneaking is kind of slow. I'm gonna go ahead and flip us into double speed mode, so we can poke ahead. This is a pretty good strategy for dungeon crawling to move your rogue ahead.
Look for traps.
Look for traps, and also you can kind of ping enemies with a sneak attack, and then kind of.
Some really good chanting.
Yeah, it's pretty good. He'll keep going after a bit too. So he has these kind of automatic buffs that he gives your characters right now. I think it's move speed and reflex, so pretty good. I'm gonna go ahead and try to. So the one thing I've noticed about this game, there's no real AI settings for any of your characters. You're kind of always in control of them. I might be overlooking something very obvious here, but I haven't found any way to have your spellcasters automatically use spells. So what I normally start off with is, controlling all, and then clicking on an enemy to make them all attack.
That's a good start.
By default, their attacks. This guy here is actually using an arquebus, I think. No, he's still reloading. But so if you want to cast a spell or anything like that, you have to select them and manually figure out what spell you want to use and use that. I'm going to go and use Holy Radiance here. Probably, it doesn't really need it yet. But this guy is going to use a knockdown. So you have knockdown, attacks fortitude, 2 per encounter. There are also per rest spells. Most spells are actually per rest, so you actually have to rest in between using them.
That's just finding a place and sleeping, basically.
You can actually use, oh gosh.
Or can you just rest anywhere when you're out of combat?
There is camping gear.
Aha.
And you can camp. You only have so many camping supplies you can carry, so you can't go on forever. But eventually, there are free. So he has two chants. He needs 3 to do most of his powerful stuff. I'm going to go ahead and have my sorcerer come up and try to cast a spell here.
So this is all very similar to the D&D framework, even if the specifics are a little different.
So you see those little lines down here are engagement. So if I try to have one of these characters move away, engagement is basically opportunity attacks. The 2 guys here will get free attacks against somebody who's trying to run away. These characters are my 2 fighters. I actually made a fighter character. Let's go and take a look. Dobby, 4th level fighter. I always usually play sword and shield in these kind of games. It's tanks. This guy joined me later on, the first character I got after the little tutorial area, and he was also a kind of sword and shield person. So I just kind of have both of them doing sword and shield stuff right now.
Can't have too many swords and shields.
No, but so I have to be the back of the line people here are all my real damage dealers. So I'm gonna see what I can cast here. I'm not gonna use this thing. This is per encounter, and it will do a little bit of damage to everybody in the area of effect. So. Go slow-mo for this, so you can see what's going on.
Zoom all the way in. Zoom all the way in.
That's it. Oh,
yeah.
So can actually get. Yeah, I don't remember. Well, obviously the older D&D games, I don't think you can actually zoom in. You just have to change your resolution. Maybe I'm really. It's been a long time since I played. Ooh, somebody crit. Who crit what? Durance crit. 14 pierce. Not bad.
That's how you know it's real role-playing when the damage values are all in the single and double digits.
Well, it's gonna get crazy later on. This is it's a really interesting system they have set up. So obviously I have spellcasters and melee fighters at this point. A pretty easy loot all kind of system. But every character has, gosh, what do we have here? Where are my? I'm gonna take a look at the bestiary to kind of talk about all this stuff.
It's quite a smirk she had.
Yeah,
she's maybe up to. She's got ulterior motives or something.
All right, so I've killed a bunch of shadows. These are the core stats for any kind of character or enemy. Endurance is kind of it's really interesting. You don't really take a lot of damage in combat except for really intense combat. So most of it goes to this endurance stat, which recharges after every fight. So you can actually go through fights without taking any damage, even if you get hit. But you see these defenses here. Deflection is what you use for most melee attacks. There's fortitude, will, and reflex, and that kind of stuff. They're basically kind of saving throws. But each enemy will have different kinds of strengths and weaknesses. So deflection is always going to be what most melee characters are going to use, and then you have these other things that mostly spells will try to hit. Damage reduction. So if I hit this character for 20 damage, it'll automatically get 8 taken off of it. So higher damage resistance, it's worthwhile to go for like a 2-handed attack or bigger, stronger spells. But you see that kind of modifies, like it's weaker to burn and less susceptible to freeze. So you have to kind of mix and match your attacks and switch weapons and spells based on the weaknesses of your enemy. The only caveat there is that some of these enemies will not be, or some of these, like I've only fought one of these, so I don't have all the information yet.
Gotta fill it in.
Yeah, I gotta fill it in by slashing 30 damage reduction. So basically, if I try to use a slashing weapon on this guy, I wouldn't do anything unless I'm really, really lucky.
It's got that thick chitinous armor there.
Yeah, but then the other stuff is where, like, this guy is less slash, but it's still his strongest thing. So trying to figure out all the strengths and weaknesses is one of the big parts of this. And as you go, you kind of automatically, you don't have to do anything. It automatically fills out the best area for you. So
know thine enemy.
Right. Yep. Indeed.
It's kind of a neat system.
Yeah.
It's almost like a little collectible on top of everything else. It's like, I kind of want to fill all this stuff out.
It's
obviously it's handy to have too. But.
It's kind of easy to figure out. It didn't take me too long to get the hang of it. It'll be, I mean, if you're, it might be confusing to people who, it's a little weird because sometimes you'll get into a fight and won't be doing any damage. And you can't really figure out why until you have to look at the notes and see, you know, hey, this is kind of, what is this thing? Is that a switch or a... Okay, I guess that made sense. Switch for across the wall. I'm just kind of poking around. Feel free to ask any questions.
No, that's what a rogue does. I'm just kind of waiting to see what you find.
Yeah, this is going to be, I can already tell. So your character very early on survives this kind of magical storm that most people die at. I'm going to go in quick save. Easy quick save, easy quick load.
Is quick save on F5?
Yes. F5 and
F9?
F5 and F8.
Excellent. 8?
Right.
8?
What?
Anyways, your character can... You get a magical ability to kind of see spirits and things like that. So I have not actually done this before, but... Do you want to read this all to you? There's a lot of text in this game.
I just read it, but,
okay.
but if you'd like, you know.
I'll keep on skipping through. So you kind of see their past when you meet a spirit. They all have either they've been dead, and you see like kind of what they died of, or you see like an important moment from their past.
Are these all people that died in the Cataclysm?
No, there hasn't really been any kind of huge cataclysm.
Or what was the magic storm thing you were talking about?
It was really like in a valley. I was all by myself.
A localized thing.
Yeah, it was not a huge thing. So I'll come back once they're gone. I think I have to, this might be part of a quest that I started. I'm not entirely sure. I'm about 9 hours into this. I have a few other areas that I can go to. I've actually, you start off by yourself. You create one character. Oh man, see, a lot of reading. If you're dyslexic or anything, and that's not even a joke. I had a girlfriend who was dyslexic. This would have not been a great experience for her. But yes, there is a lot of reading to do. Not in a punitive way, just kind of...
I mean, I hear it's pretty well written. I mean, like Obsidian, if anything,
yeah.
Obsidian is known
far
and wide for the quality of their writing.
So I guess I didn't actually catch all that because I was clicking through, but this is the dialogue system, pretty familiar to anybody who played, Fallout or the older games. You can have a bunch of options. You even have things that you can't do. It'll tell you if you need like a certain skill, like requirement not met. You can actually turn that off in the option settings. So if you don't want to know what is unavailable to you, then you can totally do that. There's an impressive amount of gameplay options in this, which maybe I'll show you a bit later. So I guess somebody did something bad. I'm going to go for that lying bastard. I'll see he pays for this. I'm going to gather the remains. Oh yeah, this is what I actually in this dialogue for, or in this dungeon for. I needed to find the...
Well, there you go.
Oh, okay, so it was just doing
all done.
I thought it was going to warp me somewhere.
So you have a kind of a traditional quest log?
Yeah.
What does that
totally
look like?
Journal.
Just...
well, no quests. So you have your main stuff.
Oh wow, that's a lot of stuff.
Yeah, you have all the old stuff that you've done. It'll update it as you go to, this probably is kind of mildly spoilers, but I'm pretty early on.
You find the storytelling pretty engaging, though?
Yeah,
overall?
I'm enjoying it so far. And they have a pretty good hook as soon as you get to the first town where you're kind of like, okay, this is probably going to interesting places. So I'm going to try and pick up the stuff in this thing. Actually, I should probably check for traps. Sometimes there will be trapped, chests and stuff like that. And you have to.
Is she just always detecting traps as she walks around?
No,
or you have to put her in that
mode?
You
have to flip her to sneak mode.
Okay.
So I spend, it's a one button press, it's not that bad. Oh, and then she can also sometimes, I think she's always detecting for these kind of secret areas. I don't actually know what many of these do. A lot of books to read. They're not quite as long as some of the Skyrim books are, but they're good, like kind of fleshing out for the backstory of the world.
I think is the world pretty well put together overall?
So far as I've seen it, I've enjoyed it. I haven't actually reading a lot of the books, but
right.
like I said, there's some pretty cool stuff going on right off the top of
Specifically, though, you know, it's one of those cases where it's like, they're making a game in the spirit of those old D&D games, but they don't have D&D to work with anymore. So they had to, you know, they created a fantasy world from whole cloth.
Liberation. I mean, I'm sure a lot of people find that to be fun.
I mean, you know, it's basically just like Dragon Age. It's just like, we want to keep making the same kind of games. We'll just make our own world.
We want to own this property. So convert graze to hit. That is pretty important. So the way melee swings work, you either miss entirely, graze, hit, or you can crit. It depends on like a 1 to 100 system. Where if an enemy has a really high deflection and you don't have as much you know, attack kind of stuff, you'll probably graze a lot of the time. Convert graze to hit is pretty big. And draining, I'm not sure what that does. Let me actually right click that. 20% of damage restored as endurance. That's pretty crazy. It doesn't do as much damage as I think either of my main fighters' weapons do, but let me actually put this in her thing so I can compare and contrast. And a pry bar too. So you pick up pry bars and hooks and rope and stuff like that, and you can use them in various places. Let's see here. This is, where was it? Compare. Oh, wrong character entirely. 14 to 20, so I lose a fair amount of damage.
Yeah, that's rough. I don't know if that's worth it.
I don't know if this is base 13 to 18. Oh, it means I added something from somewhere. Base 19, 9 to 14, 10 to 15 crush. So I lose about 4 or 5 points of damage per hit, but it's only 30% of grazes converted to hits, so probably on the whole. But it's also plus 115, so 15% more damage. That's a tough one. This character, I don't really care as much about damage output as I do survivability, so converting damage done to endurance would actually be a pretty good thing. So I might give that to her and see what happens. Oh, it's a cool looking flail too. That's nice. I like it. Oh, that's pretty awesome.
Cool. Just swing it in the breeze.
Yeah. So I think.
So are you done in this dungeon?
I don't think so. I have maybe a couple more areas to go, but I can go complete this thing and see what's going on. And I can come back for the rest of the stuff.
Yeah, I'd be curious to see what just the kind of overworld looks like a kind of a more expansive environment.
Just see if there's anything over here real quick, and then I'll get out of here. Oh, geez, he went down quick. So I have played a little further. Oh, Scolder King. Shit, I should probably be doing stuff to him. I'm going to use a powerful spell on him. And you can... Condemns the priest's foes. Oh, awesome. Dazing? Is that what that does? Dazing. Okay, let's see what this does. Let's try and get in here. A lot of pausing. Like I said, you don't... So this is the weaker one, but I'm going to go and take him out.
Yeah?
You are going to get knocked down, buddy.
Nothing wrong with pausing. I'm not going to hold it against you.
Yeah,
seems like there's plenty to keep up with in this game.
Yeah, you can actually set up autos. This knockdown stuff is really good. So once they're knocked down, they automatically get critically hit by any rogues, or they get sneak attacked by any rogues. So it's really works out a lot.
Wait a minute.
Oh, she's fatigued. So the more you fight, the more you travel around without resting, you'll get fatigue. -10 accuracy, and it's not good to have that happen, so you have to rest.
Are there any lasting effects, or is it just until you rest?
Just until you rest, as far as I know.
So you could get yourself out of here?
Yeah, I'm going to try and actually do that. Let's see here. What is this? Ooh. Ooh. I haven't found a lot of head stuff yet that has any kind of magical properties. This one doesn't actually look at it has any properties at all. A lot of these are just kind of like, hey, put it on your head. There's no like defensive stuff as far as I can tell for a lot of helmets and some of the other gear. I haven't really found a huge amount of magical gear yet, so kind of one of the things I'm looking forward to doing. Like I said, it's still pretty early on. Where is this? Is this like a whole nother place?
This is not the outside.
It is not the outside. Oh shit! I think I might have hit a trap.
Oh.
Oh, there we go. Okay, good. So that's what I'm supposed to do.
What's this all for?
All right, when you came of age.
That sounds odd.
I think this guy used to be a priest or something. There's a religion that was kind of, I'm not going to snuff a candle in a, that sounds like a bad idea in a religious kind of place here. See where I need to go find the dude who started this whole thing for me. Here we go. Quick save just in case you becomes a monster and kills me.
Greetings.
You lied to me. So I think this is the guy I saw in that flashback with that spirit. So he doesn't know that I saw the flashback of the spirit that told me that this guy murdered them all or like, left them behind. I didn't. Let's see here.
Don't believe his lies.
Oh, okay. So yeah, this might be minor spoilers for the storyline. Unfortunately, there's.
Is this the main story quest that you're
I don't
on
think,
right now?
No, it's not. This is kind of a side quest.
Side stuff.
Ah, sorry. I'll try to get through this.
That's fine. Make your choices.
Not too late. I could just kill him right now, but I'm gonna say.
Is that where this is going?
I could kill him if I wanted to, but I'll kick him out of town. Deserves worse, but I'm not a murderer. Oh, good experience too. All right.
Do you have to worry about your alignment at all in this? Do you even set that?
Priests do apparently. So priests have a worshiper. There's no like alignment in terms of that I've seen. It's kind of do what you want. But there's reputation you have with certain characters, and there's another game that has kind of not great loading screens a lot of the time. So this is the first thing you see when you walk into town. This tree over here, it's a little dark, so you might not be able to see it, but yeah,
now I see it.
Full of dead people.
That's a tree, all right. Those are definitely dead people.
Yeah, so apparently the king
Yikes.
of this land has gone a little bit crazy. So
Oof.
the first thing you do when you walk in is see this, execution tree, and then you kind of know things have gotten poorly, and
That's a shitty tree.
Yeah, it's
An
not.
execution tree is not the tree you want to be hanging out around.
Not a Christmas tree or hanging on. So the king has apparently gone somewhat mad and has started to find enemies everywhere. So immediately that hook is pretty good. And you know you're going to have to deal with that king. You know you're going to have to do a bunch of other stuff as well. But here I'm going to go rest at the end real quick to get rid of this fatigue. Friendly neighborhood inn. I should keep double speed on while I'm running around. A lot of NPCs, you can tell if they're important or not just by what they're named. So yeah, let me rest real quick and we can mosey on to the overworld and you can kind of tell me what next you want to do. Any questions at all?
No. I mean, it's kind of a lot to take in.
Yeah, definitely.
It's very dense with mechanics.
You can attempt, so obviously tab will highlight anything nearby, but if you attempt to, I guess I'm actually free to take this stuff. You see that little red icon over there? It means I'm sealing. If you're hidden and nobody can see you, can steal stuff, but for the most part, it's really tough to do in something like an inn.
You never know for sure if nobody can see you.
Oh, no, you can.
Okay, fine.
Like a role play, that kind of stuff.
No, I know. Maybe I've played too many Bethesda games where...
Oh, yeah, somebody comes up and...
It's never quite clear in those cases.
Stop, citizen. All right, so I'm going to go and rest real quick. So you have different levels of resting if you want to spend a little more, or you can just do the common room. It'll take 8 hours or whatever, nice little cutscene to let you know what's happening. You're resting. And then you gain all your health back and all your fatigue goes away. And you get all your spells back if you're a spellcaster. And you can also, of course, barter. I will open up my stash here. I actually sold almost everything from my stash. So you have the stash that kind of you can carry. You can access it at any time, even out in the field if you want to. There's another setting to turn off that. So if you want, I guess that makes it you can only do it in towns or something like that. If you
that sounds rough.
Yeah, but it's infinite, as far as I can tell, infinite storage for everything, which to me is great. I really don't like having to worry about like weight limits in games like this and Skyrim and other stuff. I found a cat.
A black cat.
It's a zombie
Just
cat,
walking around with a cat in your pocket?
Yep. Its skin is rotting away from its chin. Thin hide is stretched over its bones.
Gross.
I have no idea what I'm going to do with it, but maybe I'll stick it in my stash and keep it there. Okay.
Yeah?
Yeah?
Any fast travel around the world? Can you get from like major area to area quickly?
Let's take a look and see.
Okay, let's do that. Show me the map.
Okay, so you have to get the edge map in order to get to the world map here.
Okay.
Lets you know where it is. The one issue I had when I first came through here. Oh, can I actually go straight there? Oh, I didn't know that, man. Oh man, You've
been trekking across the land.
I've been busting my ass. I thought you had to go from place to place, but that's kind of good. The one thing I didn't notice at the first time was that if you have to pick. When you're first exiting an area, you have to go to the edge of the map that corresponds with your destination. Otherwise, it won't actually highlight as a destination, which is kind of annoying. I was over here. Since I've already talked a little bit about the Mad King, I'm going to go over there. Eventually, somebody finds you and says, hey, this dude's killing a lot of people. You might want to go do something and take care of that.
And you say, why do I got to solve everybody else's problems?
Yeah. You can, I assume you can do that as well if you don't want to actually kill the king. But at any rate, I wound up here. There's a much tougher fight kind of in the beginning courtyard area. But if you want to avoid all that, you can simply go over this way, sneak around a little bit. And where did I go before? I can barely, there's a lot of glare on this monitor. There's a whole little interaction here that I don't think I can actually show you.
Oh, again. Is this the one you mentioned on the podcast?
Yeah, I think I did.
Okay.
So you can examine the wall, climb up the leaves. I've already done this before, so it might not be checking again, but normally it'll check like your athletic skill and stuff like that. And that's how they kind of, they're obviously not the most elaborate things in the world, but they are a substitution for doing kind of crazy cutscene stuff.
Sure.
So I haven't really poked around too much into here yet. I think I know where the king is. I think he's in his throne room, but that's a really tough fight to get through. So I'm gonna try and poke around up here.
He's gonna slay the Mad King.
I think
do everybody a favor.
Yeah, maybe I should go down and try that. I haven't really poked around this whole dungeon much yet, so I'm kind of. I know this place I can actually wear robes to pretend to be a priest. If you put them on your entire party, you can kind of wander around for a bit until they start like, who's that dude? I haven't seen him before. But that's a little laborious, so I'm gonna go ahead and start sneaking around and maybe try to kill some of these dudes up here. I think. Oh wait, these guys aren't even. No, I don't want to do that. Okay, as soon as I stopped sneaking, that's why they were unfriendly. Oh dear.
I think your rogue has got a problem.
I think she's not going to do very well here.
Is that... Wow, okay.
So
was that something you could have pulled her out of, or you have to just kind of sit there and let that play out?
I tried to pull her back, but I don't think she worked very well. So her endurance is all the way down, which means she's knocked out, but her health is still pretty high.
Okay.
If I can beat this, I'll be able to... Oh, geez, another high priest. Yeah. Shit.
Is endurance something that comes back over time?
No, it's at the end of every fight. You regain it all.
Well, yeah, outside of combat, I mean.
It goes pretty quick.
As opposed to, like, health is something you'd have to actively restore.
Jeez. This is going to be a little tough. So, well, the thing about my rogue was that she's not really meant for frontline combat like that. So he gets knocked down, and then I want everybody else to attack him. Badly injured, but he's weaker right now. You go ahead and cast some of your stuff. Conic projection. Inflicting freeze damage. Can you? No, that sucks. I can't do the cone damage because it'll, let me actually just walk over.
Yeah, I was gonna say, yeah. Way ahead of me.
There's no real concept of rounds here either that I've found. Nice, well done, sir.
How is each individual character's action governed? Like, how often can one person attack?
You see that little countdown timer underneath there. So these 5 dots up here are endurance.
Okay.
Below that, I think, is kind of the attack swing timer. Some characters have, like, this dude back here has an arquebus, which I don't think you can see him reloading. Yeah.
Like a medieval gun?
Yeah, basically. So it's a really slow, highly damaging weapon. I should have had her do another takedown on this guy just in case he lives.
Let me ask you a question.
Sure.
Do you think there's anybody on this planet who plays a game like this, or this game in particular, entirely in real time? Is that even possible?
Well, real quick, see her endurance coming up down here? That's her endurance restoring.
Yeah, that's what I figured would happen.
Yeah. So
that's cool. So health has got kind of, endurance is kind of a safeguard against losing your health.
Yeah, and health is much more difficult to restore than endurance is. It's really pretty rare to find any spells or anything that.
Even from the little bit of D&D we've played around here.
Yeah.
I figured that was the case.
That's not really a D&D thing. I think that's more unique to these guys. I don't really know there's like a allegory for D&D.
Well, I mean, just like pen and paper role playing in general seem to treat health a lot. if you cut your teeth on like Final Fantasy games like I did as a kid, you know, it's like you just pop a potion and keep going, like health, whatever. But like damage and death are much more immediate and like kind of threatening.
Where'd that tricorn
and stuff like this.
Oh, there it is. Okay. I want to see this foppish hat he's gonna have on. Ah, indeed. What were you saying? So all in real time, I doubt it. That would be really, really difficult. You really have to click around a lot, especially if there was AI settings. You could make your characters do what you want to on triggers, like gambits or whatever from Final Fantasy 12 or any kind of AI settings. I think that would be more likely. But as it is, there's an entire auto pause system if you'd like to do this.
All right. Well, enough said about the about the pausing then.
Yeah, I can't imagine. Some of these are just character damage. Anytime you take damage, that would be constantly paused, unless it doesn't count endurance damage or anything like that.
Man, this is crazy elaborate.
Yeah, so you can set weapon ineffective, which is pretty handy in case you use a slashing weapon against something that you have no real damage against it. Should probably do this too. Hidden object found. You can set it to a specific combat time. There's no real rounds, like I said. Everything is mostly counted out in seconds, like endurance of spells and buffs and everything like that. Oh, that's not bad. I want that too. I can't. I'm actually getting excited about when I can pause the game. That tells you something about how all this works.
It's a specific type of game that appeals to a specific type of person.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's cool that they made it for those people.
Yeah, there's
people such as you.
There are plenty of options in here. The one big bug I've seen so far involves the, where is it? It was game. It's locking the mouse to the window. There's a mouse caging thing, and I have no idea where it is right now, but cage cursor. There we go. So I have a multi-monitor setup at home, and this apparently will turn itself off after every combat that I get into. So I will wind up, it'll be properly caged, and then all of a sudden, after I get out of fight, this will be going off to the right monitor, and I'll lose it.
They're on Steam. They can patch pretty easily.
Oh yeah.
I'm sure.
I think I'll probably wait for them to patch it up rather than having to turn off all my monitors every time I get into a fight. Every time I start the game up, I'm not a big fan of that. Oh, jeez, man. I don't really know if these guys have. I think there might be a little bit of a level disparity between me and some of these dudes, or maybe I just crit them twice. But I was up here before a little while ago, and I really got my butt handed to me. Maybe just also the fact the last time I came in here, I was wearing those robes that prevented me from being attacked. You can see this guy has a pretty cool. The arquebus has a pretty cool reload animation.
Sure.
And I kind of wandered halfway through the area before somebody kind of walked up and he asked me a question, like, a trick question, like, what god are we worshiping, or blah, blah, blah. And they found me out, and I immediately became hostile, like half the floor. Oh!
Wow. Holy fuck.
Sneak attack crit. Gibbs, man.
Like 80% of that guy is just gone.
Jibs, if you want to call him that. Another dude. Man. Is this guy bad?
Are you back on the main story quest at this point, or is this still more side stuff?
Take a look here. I think the main one is... No, I have to find this Marewald place, and I think it's... I think I got to the Marewald, but I haven't actually. There's a dungeon, another fight that I got into that was pretty crazy. Yeah.
Pretty healthy amount of content in this game, though.
As far as I can tell so far, I mean, this is still a side quest, and this is like a 5-level dungeon as far as I can tell.
Right.
What is she gonna cast? I don't know. Let me get out of here. I usually try to have my whoa shit fuck. Sorry. Quotes and quotes. This guy's gonna have to be taken care of.
Yes. Take care of him.
Aloth is a wizard, so I don't want him to be doing it. Okay. Why don't you go ahead and try to use a blast? Was that grazes? Okay, I'm gonna try to knock this guy down. These knockdowns are really handy to have as a fighter. Are you guys all targeting? Are you guys all attacking him? Yes, okay, so he's in the middle of falling down. Ah! He's going down pretty quickly.
No good.
Who's no good? I'm trying to figure out who is doing the poor stuff, but you saw the rogue crit the Temple Guardian for sneak attack when he was down on the ground.
Yes.
That alone is worth knocking him down as much as possible.
Was this a 49 health, was it?
Yeah.
That's a lot.
I assume so. I have no real way of, I have no measurement. I can't see his full health.
I thought that's what it said.
Oh no. She's on my rogue. Okay, you're almost dead. Why don't you come over here and knock this lady down? How about that? Thank you. You die, please. This guy can also, oh, he's got his 3 phrases stored up, which means I can now cast any of his little first level chanter spells.
Chant.
This lady flying backwards.
Make him chant.
Okay, I'm gonna make him, they're basically kind of very strong spells, but I'm gonna make him summon a few ghouls here. I gotta wait for his cooldown on his last thing.
Oh, he didn't chant?
He just got, that's what he does when you go into combat. He sings his spells and everything.
I know, but I was hoping for more VO.
Yeah. Well, VO for something like this is always going to be pretty sparely allotted.
Sparse, yeah, sure.
So.
Do you remember what this kickstarted at? It ended up being like
$3.9 million.
$4 million,
which is really not that much for a studio like
Obsidian
to
I'm
work
sure
with.
there are still people who refuse to believe it, but yeah, video games cost a fucking lot of money to make.
This is not a studio made up of, people working from home, collaborating over the internet.
Right.
There is rent to pay.
Yeah,
and snacks to buy.
Just upkeep on office space and computers and internet and stuff is a lot of money.
Okay.
Not to mention people's salaries.
Yeah, I think
all kinds of other stuff.
Won't go into the specifics, but I knew how much people were being billed at to a studio or to a publisher when we were playing licensed games, and it was not a small amount of money. But of course, if you're doing a self-published, self-funded game, I'm assuming you can kind of try to fudge it a little bit or ask people to. Or I really have no idea the economics of this game, but I
amortize some of the costs.
Yeah,
perhaps.
And the thing about there's more people in here. The thing about kick-started games, there are a lot of your target audience are not going to buy the game because they already got a copy.
Right, they already kicked in for it.
So it's kind of, I'm really curious about that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
77,000 backers, not all of them are probably going to get a game based on what they put in, but I still would assume that, I assume that's a pretty good chunk of people. I don't know if this game is like a million seller or anything like that. So
yeah.
I hope it works out for them. I hope we see a Pillars of Eternity too. But charge or go slowly like I am. Oh shit.
Well, I mean, using you as my yardstick for how successful they were, they seem to have made the kind of game that
I really
fans of the genre would want.
I'm really digging it. I'm having a good time. Oh shoot. So you see this little yellow circle popping up? She is about to be seen. So I'm gonna go ahead and make her do her sneak attack. And it's a good little crit, 48. And now retreat. Retreat. Oh, she's been, crap, she's been stunned or something.
Shackled.
Stuck. 9.4 seconds. She's probably gonna get wailed on pretty quickly here. I love this. I do love this. Yeah, I do love this.
That looks cool.
The reload animation is really good too. Let me get her to.
I want to see it.
Yeah, let me get her to do a knockdown thing real quick. And we'll see this. Oh geez, he actually has a wait to reload. It looks like.
Stay with it. I want to see that. Wow, straight up muzzle loader.
Yep.
Cool.
I can tell that's a Josh Sawyer special right there. He's pretty particular about being very accurate with reload animations and stuff like that. Is this a stronger priest now? Almost dead. Oh, that's interesting. Where'd you go, buddy? Vanished. Come on, you're still there. I know you're there, Josh. I can hear you breathing. It's not funny. What the? Where'd he go? I hear him cackling, but. All right, well, I'm going to try to cast an AoE on this thing, see if it does anything. What the hell? Is this bugged or something, or?
Yeah.
Maybe you finally met your match.
Maybe I met the invisible dude. Oh, no, there he is.
Yeah, I was going to say, no killing a guy you can't see or hit.
He actually come back to full life, too. Made of. Come on. There we go.
You made short work of him.
I'm glad I switched this combat over to slow mode. That kind of helps. I wish I'd known that was an option. It's normally supposed to be a fair amount faster than that, but I kind of enjoy the slower pace when you're trying to figure out what to do.
This looks like a game to spend a lot of time with.
Yes, it is. In
a perfect world, we would all have more time to sink into stuff like this. So I don't suppose you have any idea how long this is.
I've heard various numbers bandied about. I think somebody said 70 hours or something like that. There was that dungeon that they made, which was So I'm gonna go and camp here since one of my people's unit. You have 4 camping supplies. You can find those a lot of places. They're pretty cheap to buy too. It's just meant to be a kind of a.
There are accounts of watchers in all of the regions I've visited.
So your character's a watcher, is what that spirit thing is called.
Give people advice.
Here's one of the few random lines of dialogue we recorded.
Yeah.
There's a fair amount of stuff you can actually just straight up talk to your party members if you want to. I need to leave. Not all of us is VO'd, obviously. But yeah, that's kind of. I could get really in depth with a lot of stuff in here, and I don't know how much time we have for this kind of stuff. But
We should. I think we've gotten a pretty good overview.
yeah.
Here.
Stronghold. Apparently, you can go to the Stronghold right away once you own it. I have not gotten that far yet.
Just like warp there.
Yeah, as far as I can tell. There's also a fair amount of formations you can do. All this kind of stuff is kind of old school. You can even make your own formations. Cloud saves work, but apparently these are not quite. I don't think this is what I have at home. So if you want to do a little stuff, you'll probably have to make sure you have all these settings kind of lined up. And pretty straightforward. And you can, hold down the right click and turn it before if you know you're going to a bad fight, get your fighters up front and everything like that.
That's cool.
Yeah, it's a really pretty. I'm enjoying it quite a bit. I think I'll finish it.
It's one of those games that I would like to try it, but I probably won't ever have time. But
Yeah.
I'm very glad that it exists.
It is.
I'm happy for the people who wanted this that it got made.
I'll tell you what. Why don't I go ahead and try that fight in the courtyard that I really
All
did
right.
do very well at. I'll show you a more difficult thing because I feel like I've been steamrolling some of these guys. I'm pretty sure the king is in this little door over here, which I avoided even getting close to by sneaking in this way. But if I want to, I can go back down and kind of try them out. I'll see if I can do anything.
When did Baldur's Gate 2 come out?
Oh God, 99, 2000.
Okay, and Icewind Dale was like a year or two after that.
I don't know the specific time frame, all that stuff.
That was like right when I was starting to work in this line of work. Like I was interning at GameSpot back then, and like.
Let me actually look this up real quick. I believe Baldur's Gate was Baldur's Gate. Yeah, Baldur's Gate. Google.
The first one was like 97, 98, something like that.
Did I mean Baldur's Gate? Yes, I did. I did not mean Baldur's Gate. 98 for the first Baldur's Gate.
Okay, yeah.
But I never played the first Baldur's Gate. I started straight at 2.
Right. But I remember coming into this place and like people like Greg Kasavin were here, very hardcore into PC role playing and stuff, and hearing just hearing like the amount of reverence for those games over the years was. Baldur's
Gate was kind of a sea change. I think it was one of the first ones that actually did real time pause combat kind of stuff. Like your characters would keep on doing stuff without any input.
Yeah.
I don't know the entire. I could be totally making that up. I don't know the entire lineage of all that kind of stuff, but I remember that being a big deal back at the time.
Just like a lot of people that I've worked with over the years that are like huge fans of this style of game.
Another thing to consider: there's not a huge amount of buffing you have to do. If anybody who played the older games, you know you had to do like Bear's Endurance and all that kind of stuff every time. I'm actually going to try and cast Trap up here.
All right, let's get this fight started.
All right. I tried to cast a little trap up there so it'll trip them up if they come over, and I'm going to try and go off and lure them down. Let's keep quiet. Oh, geez, there are a lot of people here. Shit. All right, I'm going to try actually doing a little tactic here and get around this corner and see if that... I don't know if that'll prevent the archers from... Oh, shabba. Okay, everybody run. Oh, sha.
I got bad news for you.
This is already going pretty poorly. You guys get back here and attack.
Could you maybe zoom in just a hair?
Sure. Be happy.
Yeah.
You get out of the way. You guys all get ready to attack. Yes, go, go, go. Okay, this is probably gonna be poor. I don't think my characters are especially in position, and there's gonna be a bunch of archers back here. Yes. I'm gonna see what I have to cast that might be able to do something to them. Maybe you have something, Mr. Peacety? Can you do something bad? Or just buff everybody up with that. Okay, you get back on task here, buddy. You go ahead and knock this dude down. Thank you. Okay, this is Paladin of Barath. I think he's going to be one of the tough ones. Shit, there are two of them. Ah, it's going to hurt.
Hey.
We'll see. I got pretty pounded the last time I tried this, so we'll see how this goes. I need more AoE stuff to do here. I'm going to go and do this. Try to daze them all.
On your word.
You should probably get back a little bit, buddy, but...
Yes.
Actually, why don't you try to take out one of these? Too many targets. 3 paladins. Okay, this is probably going to go pretty poorly here. I think some of these guys have non-ideal damage types against these paladins. I'm not really sure what they're weak to, unfortunately. But I'll keep on trying to knock them down. You get this weird ability called Crucible of the Soul, which I'm not entirely sure what it does, but I'm going to try it out and see. Man, these guys are taking a crap load of damage.
Yes. Yes.
Okay, he's got 3 of these things now. I'm going to try and do a more powerful spell. It's a Cell Sword, okay. Stuns and shoves enemies around. 3 bolts of lightning, causing shock damage to anyone in their path. Okay.
Ooh, that looks productive. Maybe.
Rest of you, I need to actually just target the rest of these guys onto somebody. I'm not doing a huge amount of damage, but I'm not taking a fair amount either. So that's kind of. Let's see if I can get this one off real quick. Buddy, come on, buddy, cast your spell. Oh, nice. Hit a fair amount.
Yeah, look at that. Shit.
Okay, now we just need to refocus everybody on one target and try to start taking these guys out.
Wail on him while he's down.
Yeah, you should. Definitely focus firing is pretty important kind of strategy here. You really want to be focusing on one big dude at a time if you can. Okay, good. They got confused at least. Cool little effect for that too. But they're not. Why can't I target them now? Like they're confused, but they're not. I can't attack them, which makes no sense. Maybe that's a bug. I don't know. One of you guys all take on one of these guys in time. Wally. That's really annoying that I can't attack them. I should be able to. Oh no! Now they're attackable again. Okay, good. These paladins are really pounding on me here. You can go ahead and do one of. Ooh, did that work? I probably should just go and take these archers down at this point, since they're going to be far weaker than... Actually, yeah, might as well.
That seemed to work.
Yeah, that was pretty good. So he's got this, another chant built up, so I'm going to go ahead and have him summon in a few of these. I'm going to summon them over here near the other archer. You guys can go ahead.
Seem to be weathering this pretty well.
Yeah, I'm actually doing a lot better than I did last time. These paladins kind of freaked me out because they took so much damage, but they're not... As far as I can tell, dealing a huge amount to me, so...
It's a smart trick, you know? You set my expectations really low.
Yeah.
And then you came in and blew them out of the water.
Oh, shit. Okay, does any... You guys probably still have one more of these knockdowns. Go ahead and take them out. Nope, no need.
I think you're going to make it.
I think those kids are going to make it. Oh, man, he's actually doing pretty well at taking damage. Go ahead and take him out, too. Yeah. Yeah, and all of a sudden, once they're knocked down, they really have almost no defenses, so... I did okay.
Yay.
Did okay.
God, you didn't even lose anybody.
Yeah, there's not... It's really difficult to either... There's not really a huge amount of death in this game, as far as I've seen so far. You can also sell all this stuff. I usually just pick it all up and put it right in the stash, and next time we go back to town, it's not worth a huge amount for individual, like, little crappy pieces of equipment, but... it's worth it when you kind of you sell 1,000 things at once.
Vendor trash, they call it.
So I'm not going to go in here yet.
Yeah.
I figure people should probably discover the rest of this for themselves. This is really early on, like I said, so hopefully there weren't any huge spoilers. But so far, it's a really engaging game.
Yeah, this looks really well made.
If you are into this kind of thing, I don't think I'm going to try and power through it. I'm going to, not read anything about it. I'm going to continue not reading anything about it.
Chip
but I'll
away
probably,
at it.
take an hour or two, every couple of days to try to get through it. But yeah, I really, again. I have a history of Obsidian, but I do enjoy this game quite a bit. So,
well, I've taken everything you said here with a grain of salt.
Yeah, you definitely should do that. If you're into this kind of stuff, though, definitely check out some other opinions and hopefully maybe give it a try at some point.
Excellent. All right. Well, thank you.
All right. Thanks, guys.